Hello. Hello. How are you doing today? How are things going? Let's get a daily read going for you. Welcome into the week. This week, we are going to be talking a lot about accessing the higher chakras, clearing energy of shame and anger and guilt and fear from your chakras to allow you to access the higher realms, your Akashic records, your spiritual gifts. We are doing that class, activating your cosmic gifts. That is going to be on Tuesday night. There's a link below if you want to jump on that class. Going to be talking about it in Q&A on Thursday for Pathfinders, likely Wednesday too. So this is kind of a theme week, right? It's Shark Week here on Discovery Channel. A little bit. All right, Rainbow Blessings. It's not Shark Week. Stepping into power. Stepping into power, baby, and navigating by the stars, following your bliss. So some of you are really, some of you might not see things as a gift because you are really having to work with it right away. Like you're getting thrown in to the mix and having to do things with this blessing that's showing up. Like your gifts may be opening up, and it's like all of a sudden, bam, you are needed. Okay, so I do know that that's a lot of what's going on with awakening. Is we are having a lot of people coming awake very quickly here. This is going to be a month of opposites. All right, a month of blending opposites. So I'll talk more about that in the July astrology video that I'll make. It'll be up later today. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see where we go here. Let's see where we go. All right. 10 of Cups underneath. My. Tower. World. 2 of Wands. All of a sudden on a whole new path. All of a sudden on a whole new path. Ace of Wands. So it's possible that some of you have a love of your life coming in that's changing the direction of your life radically. Some of you could have a passion showing up, or an ending to a piece of your life, one part of your life that's really, it's kind of like pushing you down a new path here. The Tower card is Pluto and Mars. In that astrology video, I will talk about Pluto square Aries, and Aries, or Pluto square Mars, and Mars is in Aries right now for a little while longer. Thankfully, it's going to move into Taurus. Mars is going to move into Taurus a little bit later in the month, and that's going to feel better. It's going to feel more grounded. But Pluto is in Capricorn right now, and so that's not bad. That feels pretty good. But Pluto is in retrograde, so anything that needs to go is going in dramatic fashion. Something that you might have worked long and hard to create a structure. It's too rigid. There needs to be more flow. There needs to be something shifted about that. And it feels to me like something has come as far as it can with the current rigid structure. And so this Pluto square Mars might be pushing you down a new path. It looks to me like it's inspiring though, right? We're stepping into power. That feels pretty good to me. It doesn't feel, that some of you who are just coming awake, some of you who have just had a spiritual awakening, that can be this. That can be like, oh, wow, these parts of my life really need to go. All right. Justice. Nice balance there. 9 of Swords, 8 of Wands. All right. So far, I see Libra. Libra's there. 3 of Swords. There's Aquarius, the star energy, healing energy, beautiful energy there. 6 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. So following your bliss, being more in the flow, less rigid structures. I think if anything is too rigid, it's going to be, let's just say balanced. Let's not say, oh, it's totally gone, because I don't really think it's totally gone. I think there's something healthy about looking at a relationship, looking at a career, looking at what's going on for you with a particular friend or in your health or something like that, and going, nope, this piece needs to change. Okay, for this to continue to work for me. And I think it's coming in during dream time. Some of you have some anxiety that, like, oh God, this can't totally end. You know, I depend on this for my living, or this is a person who's been in my life for a long time. I just feel like there's some disappointments. There's some like, well, this isn't really what I wanted it to be, right? Like you start out with this vision and you get down this road and you're like, all right, wait a second. You know what that feels like. Wait a minute. All right. Yes, I still want this to be something in my life, but we're going off sideways here. We're going down a road that is out of balance, that is hurtful, that is harmful. And I don't want you to completely leave my life. I really want us to work on this. I want us to put some time and effort into this and be inspired to do so, to take this down a different road. Okay. Some of you could have a relationship like this, or some of you, this could be your career. We are in this space in July where Cancer and Capricorn are in opposition, right? We have the full moon, we have the new moon in Cancer at the end of June. We have the full moon in Capricorn, and that is when the two are in opposition, okay? The full moon in Capricorn is opposed to the sun in Cancer, and we have the sun in Cancer right now. And that's mother-father stuff. That's work-life balance stuff. That's like, I really wanted this career, but I didn't realize this piece of it. So let's change this piece of it. I really wanted this relationship, but I feel like we're going down a road here that needs to be modified. All right. Now, this is all about good communication. All right. 8 of Wands here. In the past, there might have been resentments or struggles that just, I talked about this yesterday. I'll put a link here to the For Whoever reading if this is resonating. This feels a little bit like it's connected. I definitely think in that reading also the star came, a different deck, I use a different deck, the star came up kind of at the same place. Now, the star in the middle here, some of you know who take my tarot class, the star, or the fifth card here is the timing card, and star is not really a timing card. The star is like, it's almost like time to heal, or when you heal this, that's when flow can happen. That's when something about healing your self-esteem, healing your heart, recognizing that your heart is valid. So when we have Cancer and Capricorn in opposition, we have that feeling that, like, one way or another, like we go the Capricorn direction where only the 3D matters. I've been seeing this in the comments. Only the 3D matters. Why are we talking about all this spiritual stuff? Why is this a thing? Why is this even a thing? Because it is. But there is a balance here, right? Because you still have a body. You still have an expression in the 3D world. But there's something here about it's not one or the other. It's a blending of the two, and that kind of needs to be healed. There needs to be some kind of coming together, right? Because here we see the two in the boat moving forward. There's some kind of healing here that's necessary. Now, if you are a healer, a teacher, a guide, a mystic, a lot of you on my channel are. I talk about this all the time, especially you guys in Pathfinders. These morning messages really are our Pathfinder daily read, and then we talk about them Thursdays on our live. And so if you haven't been part of that, I recommend it, because a lot of the issues that come up during the week, we hash them out on Thursday at noon. Now, this feels to me like there's some kind of healing of the heart that's necessary in order to follow your bliss. So some of you could have, when we have Neptune at the end of June going retrograde in Pisces, which is very watery energy. And that can feel a little bit, woo, like I'm not grounded. Grounding with Capricorn energy in the middle of the month will happen with that full moon. The new moon in Cancer is asking us to manifest based on our heart's desire, communicate that, and then take steps. So that seems to be kind of a Capricorn-y energy where we go one step at a time. Very Capricorn-y, very Virgo too, but going one step at a time. But I think this has to do with healing moving along too. So it's not just about the actions you take in the world, it's also about the spiritual progress that you're making. Those two things running along the same tracks create balance. All right? So when we go tip too much into our spiritual work, our 3D life can become unmoored, can become ungrounded, can become like we resent it or something like that. And so the steps need to also be taken in the 3D expression of your life. And if we go too much into the 3D, then there's very little progress of your soul. You're not really aligned with your soul. So you're kind of just taking the steps in front of you based on a 3D expression of life. And that's also unbalanced. Your soul has to have a say here. Can't just be like, yeah, that's for when I study astrology and all of that stuff that I do maybe on a Saturday morning. But when Monday hits, bam, I am all Capricorn, or I am all Virgo, or I am all Taurus. I'm putting in all this grounded energy. Now, can we balance those things? Can we create that kind of flow? I think that's what's being asked here. There's also something about Neptune in retrograde at the end of June that creates a kind of dreaminess, a kind of an expression of a dream that might be a little, to your mind in terms of grounding, a little unrealistic, and that feels like reasons for anxiety can crop up. But here's the thing, it's sort of like you're giving up the power, giving up your power, instead of looking at a set of circumstances and going, all right, how am I going to work with this energy? Some of you may feel that, well, if something goes off sideways, nothing to do here, nothing to see here, nothing for me to do. It's just that's how it's working and everything like that. But again, the spiritual work of journaling and working with your guides and opening up to intuition so that you can take these little steps in the physical world. Those two things are connected. If you're not listening to that, then you're not taking the steps that are based on your soul's mission and path. You're just taking steps reacting to what's going on. Okay, so that really needs a balance here. I feel like that's happening because of past hurts. Like, well, I did that before. I compromised with someone before and look where we got. But I think there's something more here about like, okay, that was a lesson that needed to be learned. And now it's like, let's incorporate that information into how we're moving forward. We can't just, just because a lesson was learned in another situation doesn't mean that's the same outcome again. It's actively trying to help you create a different outcome. If that was the outcome that wasn't happy for you, then let's create a different outcome. Let's use this information to create a different outcome. Okay? And do the work of healing and getting back in balance, getting back in our self-confidence. Because that's what we do when we give up our power. We lose our self-confidence. We just think things happen to us. That's victim mentality. Use the Cancer and Capricorn energies, mother and father, to balance you this month. All right, we'll talk more about that in that video about July astrology. Okay, so I'm going to look here. I do see Aquarius energy and Libra energy. And I'm going to put in Cancer and Capricorn because I've talked so much about them. Okay, link is below for you guys if you want to continue on. If you're part of Pathfinders, the rest of the reading starts right now. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.